Giddy Tales, where African stories lives. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. In the heart of a quiet African village, where ancient trees whispered secrets to the wind, a legend was told, never disturb the forgotten graves beyond the forest. It was said that the spirits buried there were different from the others, angry, vengeful, and waiting for someone foolish enough to awaken them, but some people never listened to warnings. Hassan, Tufi, and Modai, three men known for their greed, laughed at such tales. One night, under the full moon, they sneaked into the sacred burial ground with shovels and sacks, ready to unearth whatever riches lay hidden beneath the soil. What kind of spirits guard a grave? Dead people can't fight back, Hassan scoffed. If they were so powerful, how come they didn't take their gold with them? Tufi added, swinging his shovel. The men dug deep, their laughter echoing in the night. Soon, they struck something hard, a large wooden coffin covered in strange carvings. Inside, they found golden trinkets, beads, and a rusted dagger with a hilt shaped like a screaming face. Modai, the boldest of them, grabbed the dagger and twirled it in his fingers. Looks like I just got myself a new toy, he said, grinning. Suddenly, the wind howled, the trees groaned. A chill ran down their spines. But instead of running, they snatched everything they could carry and hurried back to the village, their minds filled with dreams of wealth. They should have run. The next morning, the village woke up to a strange sight. Every door was covered in red handprints. No one knew who had put them there, and no one dared to touch them. Modai, now wearing the stolen dagger on his waist, waved his hand dismissively. Probably some kids playing a prank, but then came the whispers. Soft, eerie voices that only the thieves could hear. You took what was ours. We are coming for you. Tufi's face turned pale. Did you hear that? Hassan gulped. It's just in your head. Let's go drink some palm wine and forget this nonsense. But forgetting would not be so easy. That night, each of the thieves had a terrifying dream. A grave opened, and shadowy hands reached for them. Modai woke up gasping, his body covered in sweat. He swore he could still hear the whispers in his ears. Tufi and Hassan refused to admit it, but their faces were pale, their eyes sunken with fear. The spirits had begun their torment. The next night, Modai woke up sweating. His hut was silent, not even the crickets chirped. He turned on his side and froze. A shadow stood at the foot of his bed, tall, still, watching. Modi's breath hitched. Who's there? He whispered. The shadow grinned, and in a voice like rustling leaves, it said, return what you stole. Or join us in the grave. Modai screamed. The shadow vanished. The next morning, he ran to Hassan and Tufi. We need to return everything. We've angered something not human. Hassan scoffed. Are you a child? Modai. Ghosts don't exist. Tufi nodded, though his eyes darted around nervously. Besides, we already sold some of the trinkets. Modai clenched his fists. Then we are doomed. That night, Tufi did not return home. His wife searched for him, calling his name, but there was no answer. At sunrise, the village elder found something terrifying near the marketplace. Tufi's body was tied to a tree, his eyes wide open in terror, his mouth frozen in a silent scream. His shadow missing, a hush fell over the village. The elders whispered among themselves. The spirits of the forgotten have returned, and they are angry. The villagers tried to burn Tufi's body in a cleansing ritual, but the flames refused to catch. His corpse would not burn. Even worse, every night, people claimed they saw Tufi standing at the edge of the village, his mouth still open in that eternal scream. Modai begged the village elder for help, but the old man shook his head. There is no escape. The only way to end this is to give them what they want. And what do they want? Modai cried. Hassan became obsessed with breaking the curse. He tried everything: rituals, offerings, even seeking a powerful witch doctor. But one night, he was found wandering the village, muttering to himself. His eyes were blank, and he no longer recognized his own name. The spirits had already begun taking his mind. That night, the two remaining thieves gathered what they could and ran toward the graves, hoping to return the stolen items. The wind howled, the trees whispered. They were being watched. Suddenly, Morai screamed. Something cold and invisible grabbed his leg, pulling him into the ground. He clawed at the dirt, but his body sank deeper, as if the earth itself was swallowing him whole. Hassan bolted, abandoning his friend. He sprinted through the village, past the huts, past the frightened villagers, only to find himself back at the graveyard. His legs trembled. No, no, I ran the other way. A voice whispered behind him, "You can't run from the dead." By morning, there was no sign of Hassan or Modai. The villagers only found two new graves next to Tufi's. No one dared to ask who buried them. The village elder gathered the people and spoke solemnly, "Let this be a warning. The dead do not forget. The dead do not forgive. If you steal from them, they will take you as payment." But some say the story is not over. A traveler once came to the village, ignoring the warnings, and ventured too close to the graves. The next morning, he was found wandering the village in a daze, whispering the same words over and over. "They are still here. They are watching. They are waiting." No one knows what he saw. No one dares to ask. But the villagers say when the moon is full and the wind carries their cries, the spirits of the forgotten still search, still haunt, still wait for the next foolish soul to disturb their rest.